So I got one last story. So speaking of that, like books that I don't know if they hold the test of time, but I guess they are. I talk about archetypes and storytelling. There's certain novels that have been written that are just like so influential that they can't be denied. So for instance, another one is Moby Dick. Herman Melville, Moby Dick.
Never read it.
You're not missing out on anything.
Really?
Like I understand the power of it. And I understand the symbol. That's a great question. Probably the late 1800s or mid 1800s. And everyone knows it's a part of the lexicon. You know, like Ahab, the White Whale, Moby Dick, and I read it in college, and I needed it was wonderful because I had a brilliant college professor that would guide me through it, and then maybe like 10 years later, which is now 20 years in the past, I read it and I'm like, no, I'm out. And most recently, remember my father wanted to revisit it and read it, and then I asked you, I go, hey, do we have any copies in the English novel room or whatever you want to call it, whatever we store all the books? And you're like, I don't know, go check it out. And I think I found one, and I borrowed it. I did return it, everybody.
He's doing air quotes.
Yeah, I did return it, and I gave it to my dad, and my dad was like, "Oh, I did a day or two, and I'm out."
That's good to know because I never even tried it. I was just like,
It's like a lot of the Russian writers for me, like Dostoevsky. Like I understand, like I get the brilliance, but for me, maybe my mind is not disciplined enough anymore, or I need a different type of story. Like I don't know, and I don't know. Those guys aren't for me, but I understand their artistry and understand what they contributed to the game, if you will, or to the whole.
Sure,
but it's just not for me.
I also think that sometimes, and I'm probably going to be vilified for this one, but I also think that sometimes we cherish writings that, like, did we really have to? I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, they had a really great publicist. You know what I mean? Like a lot of actors today, they have a really great publicist. They're terrible actors, but they're really great publicists, and all of a sudden they're the next it person. I think it was the same thing with the books in the 17 and 1800s.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, how, and I know I'm coming from a 21st century mindset.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a valid one.
I'm like, really?
But think about the law of numbers then too. Okay, so how many people are literate back then?
Right.
And then think about the importance or how they were revered in society back then. Like novelists were actually like rock stars then because
it's true.
There was no other really forms of entertainment.
Right.
Besides live bands, some minor skirmishes and war and violence, drinking, fornicating, and if you could read and write, reading.
Right.
By the candlelight at night. So then if you come along and you write Moby Dick, and there's not other 5,000 writers out there. There's no Amazon.com.
It's true.
And there's no self-publishing. Mm-hmm. So this guy was a genius out of there. He really was. But to stand the test of time and to go through the modern times and the way minds are rigged and everything, like, those books aren't for me. And I know you and I disagree on this, or maybe not, but like Shakespeare, I can't hang with Shakespeare.
I get it.
I understand the beauty, and I understand the prose and the brilliance, but I can't, I don't know.
But at the same time, why are we still testing kids on Shakespeare?
It's ridiculous.
They just took the PM1 and they said they got 2 or 3 passages on Shakespeare. Why?
I know.
Why?
We're approaching, existential crisis with AI, and we're trying.
This is adults who don't want to get away from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Those are the same people who are creating these damn tests.
I was talking to our coworker KF on the, she teaches juniors, and I said the curriculum is terrible. Like, I could recommend 3 or 4 books that I just know the kids would get such a huge kick out of, and they're just as valid as like literary works, as opposed to like just this antiquated, brutal old language.
Yeah. Why? Why are we still doing this? Nobody's speaking that.
Exactly.
Why are we doing that?
Nobody's speaking that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, isn't Dead Poets Society a book?
I wish we could look that up, but that's a great movie.
Let's write that down as a possible book.
Okay, but then talk about certain books still hold the test of time for me, but the ones that we've just met, I can't bring anyone to attention. Maybe we'll talk about that one time on the writing segment of the podcast. But have you read Jane Eyre? Lady in the That's
Attic.
Emily Bronte. Is that how you say her name?
Right? Yeah, the Bronte sisters. Yeah.
No, because that's even worse for me. Because like that whole Victorian type of
You don't like
culture,
the Victorian?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys, who is an awesome modernist author. She gave us the perspective of the lady in the attic and it was out of this world phenomenal. And I think a lot of modernists...
And did she use modern language then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Right? And so I think when you modernize it to your audiences, like, all right, fine, let's still read Shakespeare. Why do we have to... And I know that he invented a lot of language.
Yeah, I got it.
But why can't we just bring it into a more modern version? The kids might like it more. Macbeth, they would love Macbeth if they could understand it.